This one turned out to be a very interesting hike in the Santa Suzana Mountains, out of Ed Davis Park into Towsley Canyon, and then coming back down Wiley Canyon. We started out at the parking area at the entrance to Towsley Canyon. We were the only car parked there and figured we'd be all by ourselves on the trail. The sign told us it would be about a 5-mile hike, going up Towsley Canyon and down around through Wiley Canyon. And so off we went, starting up the road, up from the parking lot. Along the way, we ran across some rather interesting looking trees. We also started to get some views of the mountain areas that we're heading into. And so Dale leads the way, heading in that direction. And then the road suddenly disappears, and we head into a quite narrow part of the canyon. At several points, this now narrower trail requires crossing over the stream, as Jack does here. The trail becomes quite brushy as we work our way up the canyon. In places there really is no trail and we have to work our way up the creek bed. Occasionally we noticed an oil slick on the water in this creek. At one point in time there were working oil wells in these mountains. And there's still evidence of oil seeping out of the ground in places. We find some rather interesting looking rock formations along the way. All of this, of course, adds some more interest to this trip. But then we leave the bottom of the canyon and start up the side hill. As we work our way up, we can look back down into Towsley Canyon. At one point, we really get a chance to take a look at some of that oil seepage we were talking about. But the trail keeps rising up out of the canyon at a pretty good rate. And this gives us a chance to get a pretty good view of some of these Santa Suzana Mountains. As Dale stops to take a look at them. And then right next to the trail we pass by another of these beautiful oil seepage spots. But to compensate for this, we still get some very beautiful mountain views. And we really never get tired of looking at them. And we also find some spring wildflowers popping up here and there, in addition to some picturesque settings along the trail. And here Jack continues his trek on up the trail. We find lots and lots of lizards along the way. We were cautioned by some other hikers we met along the trail to watch out for rattlesnakes, as they had seen one. Then we reached the top of the ridge separating Towsley and Wiley Canyons. And we started to get some views of the valleys down below. The weather was just about perfect for hiking, but unfortunately there were quite a few clouds and haze in the atmosphere. but it did give us a chance to pan around and take a look at the area below. And also some of the mountains beyond. And there's the freeway heading up towards Newhall Pass. And then we headed on down into Wiley Canyon with some more wildflowers along the trail. At one point we found a bench where we could rest our weary bones and have a little bite to eat. You know, we thought we wouldn't run into many hikers today, but actually we ran across something like 20 of them. And then once down into the bottom of Wiley Canyon, we found a very pleasant trail heading through lots and lots of greenery. And all this after a quite pleasant hike of about 5 miles with a 1,400-foot elevation gain to get over the ridge into Wiley Canyon.